Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you my updated eyebrow routine. This is how I have been filling in my eyebrows for a while now. I have been pretty happy with my eyebrow routine these last few months, and a lot of people ask me certain things about my brows, so I figured it was time to give you guys an updated brow routine. So I'm going to be showing you how I fill them in when it comes to doing a full face of makeup. I do have a little bit of a different routine when I'm doing more of like a soft everyday makeup look, but this is going to be like my full brow routine when I want my brows to look really filled in, structured, and all of that good stuff. But I'm also going to be showing you guys how to like not get a super harsh brow, how to avoid getting that like block square looking brow in the front, if you know what I mean. And I'm also going to be showing you guys how I like tweeze and clean up my brows as well. So I really hope that you guys enjoy seeing this video all about my brows, and let's just go ahead and get started. So I just went ahead and zoomed you guys in, so hopefully you could see my brows a bit better. So I'm going to start off by showing you guys how I tweeze my brows and kind of clean up excess hair. I do not get my brows done professionally. I used to have my eyebrows waxed, but I feel like they were always a little bit too thin for my personal taste when I would get them waxed. And of course it is expensive to keep getting that service done over and over again, especially when you're a hairy girl like me. My eyebrow hair grows back fast. All my other facial hair grows back pretty fast. It was always costly, but I just came to a point where it just wasn't even worth it. So I just started practicing, and now I just clean my brows up myself. I don't really have a lot of eyebrow hair. My eyebrow hair is really easy to work with, so I found it really easy to kind of just learn how to tweeze my own brows, and I have learned how I like my own brows. So I'm gonna start off with tweezing first. This is the best tweezer ever. This is my mom's tweezer, and I love being home for the summer because I could always borrow it. This says that the brand is Trim. If I could find the exact tweezer link down below, I will definitely do that for you guys. It is just the absolute best tweezer I've ever tried, and there's just something special about it. I haven't found a tweezer comparable to this one, so I love when I'm home and I'm able to use it. One thing that has always been ingrained in my head ever since I started doing my eyebrows is not to overdo them, not to over tweeze, because it does get to a point, if you overdo it for years and years and years, your eyebrow hairs will just stop growing back. So I really learned to not overdo my brows, and I really just like to clean up more stray hairs, like underneath my brow, down here, or on the top. I try not to get too close to my actual shape and where I have the most hair, because I don't want to mess anything up. So I'm just gonna go in and start plucking these stray hairs down here. I find that this just makes the world of a difference of how clean my eyebrows look. Also, it really helps with eyeshadow application. If I do a look where I have to apply eyeshadow up higher, cleaning up this space underneath here really helps out with that. Also, I just want to say tweezing my eyebrows isn't something that I do every single time that I do my makeup or fill in my brows, only if I feel like it's needed, or if I have like a really big hair, a dark hair that I want to get out of the way. But I don't do this every single time that I fill in my eyebrows. So that's pretty much all the tweezing I do. I really didn't have a lot of stray hairs today, so it didn't take me that long. Of course, when I go longer without doing my brows, it's going to take me longer, but that's really it. It's just really quick and easy, especially since I kind of have the shape to my brow that I already want. I'm gonna go ahead and finish tweezing my other brow, and then we will move on to my second step in removing more hair around my eyebrows. Tweezing underneath my brows is done. That is when I like to go in and do a little bit of shaving and facial hair remover on the top of my brow as well as in between my eyebrows. I do not mean traditional shaving, so don't yell at me yet. I'm gonna show you guys this tool that I really love. I have mentioned this on my channel before, I believe in like past pamper routine videos, but this is the Panasonic facial hair trimmer, and this is really, really great if you guys have a lot of peach fuzz, excess hair around your eyebrows, kind of like mustache hair, like anywhere on your face. This is a really great and easy way to remove your hair gently, and no, it doesn't hurt, and no, your hair does not grow back darker from using this. I have been using this for years and years now, and I haven't had any issues. So I'm gonna show you guys how I use this around my eyebrows today. This is what it looks like, and I definitely recommend using the smaller blade. If you guys can see what the smaller blade looks like right there, this is just going to ensure that it fits around the eyebrows a little bit nicer, and we don't accidentally shave off half of our eyebrows, because trust me, that is one of my biggest misplaced fear, so I'm gonna be extra careful today. This tool is a little bit loud to use on camera, especially when I'm using this microphone, so I'm gonna go ahead and let editing Jackie take over, and she will explain to you guys what I'm doing with my eyebrows. So cue the voiceover right now. So to shave my brows, I'm starting off with the middle of my brows because I do grow a lot of hair there. It does get really fuzzy, and I feel like when I don't shave it, it can look very textured under my makeup. So I do the center of my brows, and then of course I like to shave the top of my brow. This really adds a nice defined shape, and I like to trim any brow hairs that might have gotten too long, especially in the very front. Sometimes those little hairs stick up, so I kind of like to pull up when I'm shaving so I don't accidentally shave my actual eyebrow, if that makes any sense. And then the next part that I like to shave is around the tail. Of course, being careful not to shorten my brow and shave the actual tail, just any hairs, excess hairs around that area. So that is pretty much everything that I do with the Panasonic shaver. It is very, very simple once you get the hang of it. So those are my eyebrows all cleaned up. That is how I tweeze as well as shave my brows at home, my little at-home eyebrow routine, I guess you could say. And now let's hop on in to actually filling them in and giving myself some eyebrows. So I'm absolutely positive that this is not going to come as a shock to you guys at all. My favorite brow pencil ever is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I've been using this eyebrow pencil for almost as long as I've been doing my brows. I was gonna say for as long as I was doing makeup, but I didn't always actually fill in my brows, and it definitely makes the biggest difference in your makeup routine. You guys definitely don't have to fill in your eyebrows as much as I'm going to do today, but I think if you even just put a little bit of color in them, add a little bit of shape to your eyebrows if you need it. I'm sure some of you are blessed with like amazingly beautiful natural eyebrows, but just adding like a little bit of color and a little bit of shape really shapes your face. It really kind of defines all of your expressions, and it just structures the whole face so nicely. So I've been using this again for as long as I've been filling in my brows. I've been using the Brow Wiz. I kind of bounce back and forth between these shades, medium brown and chocolate, depending on what I'm feeling. Typically, I will use chocolate in the summer months when I do more of a light glowy type of look, and then I will use medium brown more in the winter when I want more of like a structured, deep contoured makeup look, if that makes any sense. So today I'm going to be going in with the Brow Wiz in the shade chocolate. If you guys have never seen the Brow Wiz before, it is just a really perfect brow pencil. It's going to have the teeny little tip on the end, very reminiscent of like a crayon texture, but it is just so perfect for filling in the brows and really like doing lots of nice detail work. And then also on the other end, there is a spoolie to brush out the brows and distribute the product really nicely. So that is the first thing that I always do when starting my eyebrows, is go in and brush them through with the spoolie and shape them how I want them to be shaped. So I'm just gonna start off with my right brow, and I like to start in the bottom front and kind of draw a really light line on the bottom. I do not use a lot of pressure at all when I'm filling in my brows. A really light hand will do the trick. And if you guys can see, I'm kind of going in stroke motions like this, just to mimic little hairs instead of drawing like one straight continuous line. That is when your eyebrows are going to look a little bit blocky, so I like to pick up the pencil with every stroke, and just keep in mind the light amount of pressure that you guys are using. So once I have the basic shape kind of outlined, then I will kind of just do that same stroke motion over and over again throughout the whole brow, just like so, to start filling it in. I feel like this is going to give me, again, the most natural look, the most hair-like effect to the brow. And I'm also not trying to be like too perfect when it comes to staying within the lines, because I am going to go ahead and clean my brows up with some concealer. For my right brow, I like to go in and just give it a little bit more of an arch, just so it doesn't look too straight, but not too much. And I like to also elongate the tail of my brows. And then when it comes to the front of the brow, I just like to do the same exact thing. But if you guys notice, I never go in and draw like a distinct front to my brow here. I kind of take the color and bring it and pull it into the brow this way. And then I like to make sure to really diffuse the product in the front of my brow extra with the spoolie so it's not too dark there. So that is what I like to do when it comes to the pencil. But now I like to go in with a brow powder. I feel like this is going to fill in any sparseness that I may have missed. And I just feel like adding a brow powder makes the brows look more fluffy, more natural, and like they have a little bit more definition to them. Just like on my eyes, I like to play around with mattes and shimmers to add that definition, to add more of a realistic defined look to my eye. I like to do the same with the different textures in my brows. So the brow powder that I've really been loving is the Profusion Cosmetics brow powder. I've been loving this. I've been using this in my brows for the past few months, and you guys can get this in a whole brow set for $7, which is amazing. But I'm not really picky with brow powders. I also really like the Anastasia one, the e.l.f. brow powder. Brow powder isn't really something that I find is too different when it comes to different brands. So the first one that I'm going to take in here is the lighter of the two. This is the light medium brow kit, and I'm going to take the light shade just on the little angled brush that it comes in and just start fluffing this through my brows from front to the end. Like I mentioned, this is just going to add a little bit more of a fluffy look to the brow, which I love. It's going to mask any of the skin that you could still see peeking through it that I may have missed with the pencil. Next up in my brow routine, I'm going to clean up and outline the brows with some concealer. My favorite to do that with is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. It just has a really, really nice texture. It's really blendable. It's not going to like bleed into the brows. I find that if you use too much of a hydrating and luminous concealer around the brows, it can make the brow pencil and the brow powder kind of like run and look a little smudgy. So I'm just going to place a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and I love using this with the Sigma concealer brush because it's nice and flat. It has a nice like straight edge, so it's just going to get really nice and close to the brow. So I'm just kind of going around the brow, kind of shaping them a little bit more if I feel like it needs it. This is also how I kind of like make my eyebrows look a little thinner. If I made them too thick on the top, I'll just cover up the pencil or powder that I might have taken up too high. And then I'll kind of just blend out the line of concealer upwards with my finger to just blend it in. When it comes to cleaning up the front of the brow, I'm just going to take like little back and forth fluffing motions and almost like blend the concealer into the front of my brows, again, just to avoid that harsh block like line in the front of my brows. And then I'm just going to take any leftover concealer and prime my lid and kind of do the same with the bottom of my brows. So there is one eyebrow done compared to my before natural brow. I just love it. I've been absolutely loving this eyebrow routine. Definitely let me know what you guys think of it, but I just really love it. It might look a little bit harsh now and like a little bit too much of a strong brow, but once I have my full face of makeup on, eyeshadow, bronzer, and all of that stuff, everything is going to balance out and it is going to look just perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the other brow off camera, and then I will come back to finish up the rest of the eyebrow routine. Okay, so here are both of the brows done. I really love how they turned out today. Some brow days are better than others. Sometimes I could fly through my brows so quick and it goes really smoothly. They come out great on the first try, and sometimes my brow routine can take me longer than everything in my makeup routine because my brows just don't want to cooperate, and sometimes I do just have bad brow days. But I'm happy that today is a pretty good one. So the final step that I want to do, just to make sure that everything stays in place, is set them with the Milk Kush Clear Brow Gel. This is my absolute favorite brow gel because it's not going to make the brows hard and crunchy. It has that perfect amount of hold to where nothing moves, but you could still like be flexible and move your eyebrows. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and run this through my eyebrows, and this should definitely hold them in place throughout the day. And this is kind of like my final chance to get like the placement of the hairs that I want and to get the shape that I want. So I just like to keep that in mind and just make sure everything is perfect before I go ahead and finish setting them and the eyebrow gel dries down. So those are the brows officially done. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face so you guys can see how the brows really look with a full face of makeup. I know they look a little intense on my bare face, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then I'll be right back to show you guys the final product. All right, so I am back, and here is my full face done so you guys can see how the brows look when everything is finished. I just think that they look absolutely perfect. I think that they look defined, they look bold and filled in, but they don't overpower the makeup look. They don't look like crazy dark Sharpie brows, and these have just been my absolute perfect brows recently. So I really love them. I think they are absolutely perfect. I have been really happy with my eyebrow routine recently, especially since it is something that I've struggled with for such a long time. I did go through a really bad brow phase, like I'm sure we all have, but I've just been really happy with this routine. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this routine and found it helpful. I really hope that you were able to take something from this video and I was able to help you guys out with your brow routine. If you guys did enjoy seeing this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!